That's for both of them?
There's nobody on the other line. So.
Oh, okay. Okay. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Dr. Julius Nairi, CBPM UNIA-ACL Division 421 mass meeting. Today is October 9th. It's 5:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And today our topic is Counsel General Faruq Muhammad and the Legal Defense Committee. Before we get started, let's do the pledge to the red, black, and green. Everyone repeat after me, please. I commit my body, mind, and spirit.
I commit my body, mind, and spirit
to the protection, defense, and security.
To the protection, defense, and security.
Of the red, black, and green.
Of the red, black, and green.
I dedicate my life.
I dedicate my life
to the redemption of Mother Africa.
To the redemption of Mother Africa.
And the liberation of us scattered Black children.
And the liberation of us scattered Black children.
I accept for myself and my descendants.
I accept for myself and my descendants.
The teachings of universal African nationalism.
The teachings of universal African nationalism.
And promise that our children will be instilled.
And promise that our children will be instilled.
With the purpose, with the purpose and knowledge of themselves.
With the purpose and knowledge of themselves.
As African people.
As African people.
In order that the cause of our struggle.
In order that the cause of our struggle.
Will neither falter nor fail.
Will neither falter
nor fail.
Until all Black people are free and united.
Until all Black people are free and united.
Through one God.
Through one God.
One aim.
One aim.
One destiny.
One destiny.
Race first. Okay. Our conference call guidelines are as follows. Our meetings are broken into two halves. First half, we focus on the topic. Second half is member share. After we finish the topic, you will have a chance to ask questions and make comments. Please be considerate when you have the floor. Do not go over your time so everyone can get a chance to speak. During member share, this is an opportunity for you to share about whatever you want. But please keep it between 3 to 4 minutes. To ensure we can hear everyone, keep your phone on mute when you don't have the floor. There will be people on the call with different ideas and religions and opinions. It's okay to disagree, but let's not become disrespectful. Ladies, do not give out your personal number, give out like a business number. Do not use the N-word during the call. Be mindful of overusing and unnecessary usage of curse words. We have elders and children that tune in from time to time. Okay, I'm gonna pass it to President John so he can do the roll call.
Thank you, First Lady Vice President. Tonight on the call, we have myself, Brother John, member number 306. We have our First Lady Vice President, Sister Tania, member number 177. We have our head of our African Legion here in Atlanta, member 149, Baba James. We have our first male vice president, member number 390, Brother Omasius. And we have our treasurer, UNIA member number 2, President Ross Marvin. And we have one of our newest members, UNIA member 446, Sister Bertha. So we have 7 on the call tonight.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you all for joining the call. Okay, did you want to go first, President John? I know you said you had some announcements.
Well, no, I'm gonna let you go. Looking at the calendar and seeing that today is actually Counsel General Faruq Muhammad's birthday. I had forgotten about that, but Garvey teaches us, we must canonize our own saints, and have our own heroes of our race that we look up to. So, I want to honor our former Counsel General Faruq Muhammad, who is no longer with us, and dedicate the topic tonight to him, his legacy, and the Legal Defense Committee.
Okay, thank you.
Well, one thing, Sister Tania, are you sharing, or do you have anything you can share? Well, I can share that you're reading, so we can follow along. It might be a full email.
I'm gonna send this to you. Okay, let me send it to you. I know that's a reply. Let me see. President John, what's your email?
John.c.hargrove.
Huh?
John.c.hargrove.
Okay, wait a minute. It's probably pop up. There you go.
I got the old one from
2021. That's what I'm looking at.
Okay, yeah, I got you. Okay.
Okay.
Legal Defense Committee.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one of the great things about me and President Ross. Those first 3 or 4 years that I joined the organization, we spent hours, like right now, but he spent hours writing it down, and I spent hours typing what he said. So a lot of stuff we already have is already completed. We may need to update here and there, but for the most part, everything is done. Okay. The UNIA-ACL Legal Defense Committee. The purpose of the UNIA-ACL Legal Defense Committee is to protect the President General and to protect our UNIA-ACL government legally. The LDC also gives legal opinions and address legal issues, and our government instructs all officials and officers of the association on the laws prescribed by the Constitution of our government. The UNIA-ACL parent body, Legal Defense Committee. What is the Legal Defense Committee? It is the name of the legal staff in the UNIA-ACL government. What is the purpose of our government? It defends, protects, and do whatever is necessary. I think this is supposed to say what is the purpose of a government.
Legal Defense Committee.
Now this part says, what is the purpose of a government? I think it's supposed, not our government, a government.
Oh, okay.
What is the purpose of a government? It to defend, protect, and do whatever is necessary for the citizens of a government, defined as the authority that rules a country, the essential part of a nation. The government provides stability, which makes many things possible. The government provides services and keeps order. The government solves disagreements between individuals, groups, and nations. The government sets up guidelines to help protect, bring order, build roads, and more. Without the government setting up roads and means for transportation, travel would be difficult for the citizens of a government. The government provides laws or rules of conduct to help prevent conflicts between individuals, groups, and nations. A government makes people obey laws, and judges, courts, and law enforcement, they set to protect the citizens and determine punishment if necessary. Okay, what is the purpose of the Legal Defense Committee? The LDC, the Legal Defense Committee is the first line of defense for our government. Law is everything and everything is law. This is from the Honorable President General Redman Battle. B, the LDC's job is to protect the President General and protect our government legally. C, it gives legal options and addresses legal legal opinions and address legal issues in our government. The LDC is engaged in works that contribute to the restoration of the legal legacy created by the Right Excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey and a founding parent body of the UNIA-ACL Global Government for Africa People at Home and Abroad. The LDC additionally is committed to the work towards the exoneration of the name and reputation of the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, expand the legacy and complete the unification of the UNIA-ACL original mission. The LDC offers the UNIA-ACL the opportunity to develop a legal program that will completely allow Black people to come out of legal slavery. This task started over 90 years ago in 1920 when Marcus Garvey achieved what no other Black man has been able to achieve by establishing the UNIA-ACL government. However, the task was not completed. To bring it to completion is a gigantic task. Counsel General Faruq Muhammad believed that law and cooperative economics would restore what Garvey gave and created for us. When this is accomplished, we will have an invincible armor for self-determination. We will have a new law, Black Law, International Black Law. Works done by the Legal Defense Committee. The LDC secured the Isaiah Mortar Estate, 500 acres of land in Belize. The land was willed to the UNIA-ACL African Redemption Fund in 1925. In 2006, the British Supreme Court, the Privy Court, ruled that Isaiah Mortar Estate belongs to the UNIA-ACL government. LDC has been defending our government from being took over. For more information, see Garvey's Voice, May 2009 edition. The establishment of the African Ancestral Redemption Collaborative. The establishment of the AARC to provide the spiritual component for the IEM. I think it's the expatriate movement. Yeah, that's what I'm by invoking our African ancestors throughout the diaspora, by incorporating a spirit-based initiative concept, which stems from diverse traditional and cultural African spirituality, we expect to illuminate the existence of a 21st century ancestral and deity-based spiritual springboard. The establishment of alliances with other nationalists and Pan-Africanist groups in order to achieve the universal confraternity among the race that Mr. Garvey set out as an aim and objective of the UNIA-ACL. The international expatriate movement is a responsibility of the LDC, and this aspect of our government will be discussed further at a later meeting. And to join the Legal Defense Committee, currently I'm not, I'm not for sure if it's still in operations. I know the last I heard that it wasn't. I know President Rice was once an original member of the LDC, so I don't believe it's up and running. But would you like to say something, President John?
Yes. So yeah, to my knowledge, on a parent body level, there is no legal defense committee, but we do have a local legal defense committee coordinated by Attorney Emotep. So if individuals would like to support the legal defense committee locally, that's still possible. That's one thing I wanted to say. Just to recap on what we read. So the topics for tonight was two topics. One was the Legal Defense Committee, and second is Counsel General Faruq Muhammad. We haven't touched on Counsel General Faruq Muhammad. Right now, we were just going over roles and responsibilities of the Legal Defense Committee, which in essence, let me see. In essence, it comes down to let me see. I think it's just primarily the first one. Legal Defense Committee is the first line of defense of our government legally. So anything from a legal perspective, state law, county law, federal law, international law would go through the Legal Defense Committee. However, Legal Defense Committee is for the UNIA is a component of government. So the beginning part of the reading talked about government, the importance of government and what it is. But as we all should know, Garvey teaches us the importance of organization. And as we develop organization throughout our community and throughout our nation, that turns into nationhood. And another, so these words, organization, nationhood, government, can be interchangeable depending on what level you're speaking about. But the highest level for us to aspire to is self-governance. So that's the basis, is understanding government, and then understanding how the Legal Defense Committee would work with a government in their defense as needed. So with that, are there any questions or comments on the Legal Defense Committee? No questions on the Legal Defense Committee of the UNIA? Any volunteers that would like to support the Legal Defense Committee locally? Okay, we'll come back to it. So with that, I guess we can proceed to the next section and hear about Counsel General Faruq Muhammad. Passing the mic back to you, First Lady Vice President.
All right. Okay, let me get back to where I was.
Well, hold on, Sister Tania, can I give a little background on what I know about Counsel General Faruq Muhammad?
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
So within the Legal Defense Committee, the highest officer, the Supreme Judge of the Supreme Court within the UNIA government, the highest office is called Counsel General. So we have a brother named Faruq Muhammad, who was the Counsel General for the UNIA at one time. Hopefully the years are listed in here, but so we're getting some insight from one of our former Counsel Generals, and that's what this section is about. So thank you, Sister Tania. I'll pass it back to you. Sister Tania, you're on mute.
Yeah, I'm here. Sometimes it just takes me a minute to. I'll be fighting with the phone trying to get back. Hold up. Okay. Words from Counsel General Faruq Muhammad of the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League. This right here was written up by our president, our old president, Marvin. I don't know what to call him.
Our first president, original.
Our first president, yeah. Okay. Okay. There is a lot that's going on in the world of the UNIA right now. A lot of you are now aware that the UNIA is using the term government to describe itself. This is not something that has been done in the past. For many decades, many people looked at the UNIA as an organization. How did we get to the point of calling ourselves a government? What is that all about? When and where did it start? Faruq Muhammad has laid a foundation for us so we will be all up to speed so we can understand what will happen in the future. When we talk about 21st century Garveyism, we want all of us to be on the same page. The following words from Counsel General Faruq Muhammad has broken it down to us and set the stage for the UNIA's government. Many people are familiar with the famous quote from Marcus Garvey in Philosophies of Opinions. This one, this is one of the documents that many Garveyites has studied over the years. The quote Marcus Garvey made when he traveled all over the world was, "Where is the black man's government? Where is his kings and kingdom? Where are his president, country, ambassadors, his army, his navy, his men of big affairs? I could not find them." Most people stop there. You should continue on with this famous quote. Then I declared, I will help to make them. Legally, that is considered a declaration of independence. The question most people never ask is, did he do it? Marcus asked, where is the black man's government? He declared that he's going to help build it. Specifically, what did he do to make this a reality? In the basic legal definition of a government for the 20th century and the 21st century, there are 5 basic elements you must have to be viewed as a government. These 5 basic elements are: you must have a declaration of independence. It must be done publicly. You must have a flag. You must have a constitution. You must have a plebiscite, which is a gathering of people who publicly declare themselves as citizens or want to follow the law of their government. Lastly, you must have recognition from other governments. Faruq explained to us how Marcus Garvey and the founding parent body met the 5 requirements to establish a government. Faruq told us about the declaration Marcus Garvey made, but also in 1920, there was a more profound declaration made when over 20,000 African people from all over the world gathered at Madison Square Garden and issued a Declaration of Rights of the Negro peoples of the world. That information is easily accessible on the internet by typing in UNIA Declaration of Rights, and the entire context is available. So the element of the Declaration of Independence was met. Then you have the flag, the red, black, and green. For many decades, Black people looked at the flag as a cultural icon, or in some instances, a commercial symbol, failing to realize that this flag is the symbol of our government, the government of the UNIA. And we need to look at this flag no different from any other flag. If you look at the red, white, and blue, there is no question to what it symbolizes. It symbolizes the government of the United States of America. We need to start looking at the red, black, and green as symbols for the government of the UNIA, which was the government that was set up for Black people all over the world. The third element is the Constitution. Many people are aware of the fact that the UNIA has a constitution. There is a preamble to the Constitution, which lays out our responsibility to be a global confraternity for all Black people all over the world. It's very comprehensive Constitution, which outlines the seed of structure of our government called the parent body. This Constitution was established well into the 1920s. The plebiscite in August 1920 was very extensive. The UNIA has lifted about 25 different elements from the plebiscite to define our legal standards as a government. One of those is our Independence Day, which is August 31st. For Black people in America, there has been an ongoing issue of Independence Day, and we are trying to find our Independence Day, never realizing since 1920, we had our own Independence Day. This is the first full and complete Independence Day for Black people all over the world. Marcus Garvey during this time was elected as provisional president of Africa and was recognized by other governments as head of state. To name a few, you had British Honduras, Cuba, Costa Rica, recognizes the UNIA as a government. All 5 elements to a government was met. However, due to the ongoing onslaughts by several governments to remove Marcus Garvey as head of state to the UNIA, our government was not able to mature more than 8 to 10 years period, based on a research conducted by Professor Tony Martin. Then you have a situation in which our government lay dormant for more than 80 years. Then the question becomes, if a government has laid dormant for that amount of time, do you have the legal authority to resurrect it at a later date? It has been a global policy once a law or a legal standard has been developed, unless it has been declared illegal or unless there have been significant amendments that, even though it is still dormant, it has legal precedence and legal standings, which means that it can be restored at any time. When and how did the UNIA begin to restore this legal legacy of the UNIA? This goes back to 2005 when several critical elements were put into place. It started in February 2005 when the third Assistant President General, Senghor Bay, led a delegation to Senegal, but their plans were thrown off due to a spiritual and cultural activity involving the awareness of Marcus Garvey. This set the stage for the year of the whirlwind. And when they returned from Senegal, they all knew that something different was going to happen in the UNIA, but they weren't certain of what. Then around August of 2005, the President General, Honorable Red Man Battle, who is now ancestor, had the vision to restore the legal legacy of the UNIA and appointed Faruq Muhammad as Counsel General. He commissioned for Faruq to restore whatever legal aspects of the UNIA that he could, and to defend and protect the legal integrity of the UNIA. Faruq knew that this task was beyond him as an individual, so he was authorized by Honorable Red Man Battle in the parent body to set up the Legal Defense Committee known as the LDC. This too is a historical development. First, the LDC represents for the first time in the history of Pan-Africanism that a legal defense committee has been established with the mission to restore the legal legacy and defend the legal integrity of the UNIA. We have been fortunate enough to make some significant progress in that area. The Legal Defense Committee has met all of the legal requirements to restore the land claim that was willed to the UNIA with over 500 acres by Sir Isaiah Mortar, one of Garvey's top lieutenants. Faruq Muhammad was an aggressive counsel general working with external matters of the UNIA. In the past, counsel generals worked more internally with the UNIA. One of the first things Faruq Muhammad did is to contact international known Marcus Garvey scholar, Professor Tony Martin. Tony Martin has done a tremendous job in preserving the legacy of Marcus Garvey. He also is the official historian for the UNIA. They looked at the research Tony Martin did in the book Race First, Message to the People, Course of African Philosophy and Race First, are books everyone must read to fully understand how Marcus Garvey and the parent body established the UNIA government. Professor Tony Martin was asked if he can make a presentation of his findings on the UNIA being a government and on how it was established. This took place April 26, 2006. At that time, Professor Tony Martin revealed information that the UNIA had a fully functioning government. It was not just a government in name, it had its own officials, offices, and dealt with international matters amongst nations. The UNIA government was fully functioning, even had its own passport and its own army. The Africans Community League came out of the UNIA at this time to deal with the business aspects. We are still trying to come to grips that freedom is not free. Professor Tony Martin's presentation was a turning point because this was the first time that we had an idea that the UNIA had a functioning government. Faruq taught us that the UNIA had the first and only functional global Black government in the world. The UNIA has existed in over 42 different countries. Professor Martin made it completely clear that he was not able to complete all of the research. In service, prepared by Marvin for the UNIA-ACL Legal Defense Committee, presented by Attorney James Richmond in October of 2012, a tribute to Counsel General Faruq Muhammad in Washington, D.C. All right, that's it. I'm gonna pass it to our President John, and then we'll open up the floor. And just in case President Roz would like to speak, if he wants to, before we open up the floor, I'll pass it to him. That's if he wants to. But here you go, John, brother.
Well, actually, President Ross Marvin, if you would you like to give some comments on Counsel General Faruq Muhammad and Legal Defense Committee? I'm trying to pull up because this document talks about Tony Martin presenting his findings, and that's available on YouTube. I'm trying to find that, and we also have a video of Faruq Muhammad that I know I have access to, but I was trying to find a couple clips to view. And while I did that, President Ross, I didn't know if you wanted to make some comments.
Certainly, President John, and thank you, First Assistant, First Lady President, Sister Tania, for sharing the information on Counsel General Faruq Muhammad. I first wanted to answer your question or your statement as far as how long or what years Counsel General Faruq Muhammad served. He served as the Legal Defense Committee, our commission, Counsel General, the highest legal person in the government, from 2006, when he was appointed by President General Redmond Battle, to 2010. And Faruq Muhammad passed away on December 23rd, 2010. That was 2 days in front of the second year of celebration for the forming or the rebirth of the government. And the rebirth of the government was in 2009, December 26th. And I served and worked closely with Counsel General Faruq Muhammad on the Legal Defense Committee for about 2 years before he passed, from 2009 straight through 2010. And on December 26, 2009, that day was the birth and the rebirth of the government. And they called it the birth and the rebirth because, first of all, it was the rebirth because the government was initially formed on August 31st, 1920. But as Tania shared, there was several administrations of the government who weren't aware and functioned more of an organization. But once Counsel General Faruq Muhammad and Dr. Tony Martin did the research. Dr. Tony Martin shared with us that through his research that the government was actually functioning, a fully functioning government, as Tania let us just know, for about 8 to 10 years until other leaders of other government undermined our leader, the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, and had him deported from the United States. And so that's why it was a rebirth of the government too, because Faruq taught us that in legal terms, once a law or a government is established based upon international laws, that government, even if it's dormant for a period of time, it's still legal law on the books. And that's why the government was able to have a rebirth on December 26, 2009. And that's how we get the birth and the rebirth of the government. And Faruq Muhammad led that legal effort for the restoration of the UNIA government. And when that was a beautiful celebration. UNIA members from all over the world attended it. It was in Washington, DC. It was the big affair. And you can read more about it at the CBPM website, the Kujichagulia ceremony. And the reason why December 26th was chosen is because, not December 26th, December 27th, because Kujichagulia is the second day of Kwanzaa, which means self-determination. And Faruq had said the best way for us as UNIA members to show our self-determination is to have a government that we represent and that is represented by us, or the highest form of self-determination is us having our own government. And that was on December 27th, 2009. Counsel General Faruq Muhammad, he was a no-nonsense Counsel General. That means to be on the Legal Defense Committee, he required us weekly. We met for 2 years straight, every Thursday evening. And if we were late to the meeting or we were absent from a meeting, we were automatically kicked off the LDC. Faruq didn't play, and wherever he went, he commanded respect from whoever heard him. Everybody was so amazed with the knowledge that Counsel General Faruq Muhammad was sharing in reference to the UNIA government. So it was an honor and a pleasure to work as one of Faruq's students. And that's why here in our division, Division 421 in Atlanta, we are blessed to have the direct teachings that I received from Faruq Muhammad. We're blessed as a division to have these type of knowledge, because there's not every UNIA government was able to get this knowledge firsthand, because on the Legal Defense Committee during the time that I was there, 2009, 2010, there was only 7 members, 7 students of Faruq that Faruq taught this knowledge directly to. And I ended up bringing this knowledge straight to our division and made it part of our history, our story, our learning for our division members. There's even people on the parent body currently and in other divisions who are not aware of this knowledge, and they call the UNIA a government, but if you ask them what makes us a government, they wouldn't know how to explain it to you and to break it down to you. So those who are getting this knowledge today on the call, consider yourself blessed, because this knowledge is only known by a few. And as President John had said in the beginning, that currently our Legal Defense Committee is not active currently. And I want to big up our local Legal Defense Committee coordinator, Attorney Imhotep, because he's one of the last serving members of Counsel General in our government. And I'm not exactly certain of the years that Attorney Imhotep served as Counsel General. I think it was probably 2019, 2020. And our current President General didn't renew his term as Counsel General. I don't know why, because currently now we don't have a Counsel General, or do we have a functioning legal defense committee in our government? So again, those are the few words I want to share in reference to the LDC. No, I don't have a legal background, but when I joined the UNIA, when our division was formed in 2009, Counsel General Faruq Muhammad just grabbed me up and said, well, you working with the LDC. And I said, I don't have a legal background. He said, you don't worry, I'll teach you what you need to know. And us knowing the purpose of a government, which Tania shared with us, and us knowing the job of the Legal Defense Committee is very important for our government in this time, and it's very important for everyone to learn this knowledge. So again, happy birthday, Counsel General Faruq Muhammad, and thanks, President John and First Lady President Sister Tania, for bringing this topic forward again in this time. Race first.
Race first. Thank you, President Ross Marvin. But yes, the knowledge of the UNIA government is one of the things that I was most excited about joining Division 421, and that's something that we stand on, and we will make sure that this information is known and taught, and that the government does not go dormant in our lifetime. But very, very critical, important information, very important individual, Counsel General Faruq Muhammad, and the tasks that he accomplished under the leadership of former President General Redmond Battle, Singo Baye, as well as Honorable Tony Martin. So with that, we will open up the floor for any questions, comments in regards to the topic. When we get through the questions and comments, I'll share a short video of Counsel General Faruq Muhammad, basically giving the same explanation that we did in his own words. So with that, are there any questions, comments in regards to what we shared today?
Greetings, President John. So, First Vice President Omasius.
Greetings, First Vice President. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. I had a comment. One of the things when she was reading that stood out to me the most, when it talked about how important that meeting at Madison Square Garden was, when those 1,000 came together to declare. And it, of course, it makes me think about, as Ross Marvin always talks about membership. One of the most important parts of a government was the people that submitted to its jurisdiction. So as we have everything in place to be able to be a fully functioning government, we have to, of course, have the people to run those functions. So it reiterated to me how important membership is, and which is almost, like I said, one of the most important components of us actually being a government is having the people to support it and unify upon it.
Yes, sir.
Race first.
Race first. Yes. It brings something to my mind. I had a discussion with some brothers. I don't know, it's been a few months, maybe a year, but as representatives of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, one of the biggest disagreements that we get, or that I've gotten, was the use of the word Negro. And individuals will say, why don't we change our name? Why don't we change the name? Why do we still have to be Negroes? And what I have to counter that with is the plebiscite and things that were done in the past. And the question is, if we can get 20 or 25,000 of our people to come together, you know, and have an agreement for whatever name we wish to call ourselves, then I support that. But as of right now, you know, we already have a record of having completed that. So for me, is no point in trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm willing to work with what we've already done instead of trying to recreate it. But very important achievements, the 5 requirements to establish a government, most which were done in the month of August 1920. Hey, I got that link, President Ross Marvin. Anybody else, questions, comments on Legal Defense Committee of the UNIA or Counsel General Faruq Muhammad and the establishment of, or the, what is it, birth and rebirth of the UNIA government?
This is Baba James.
Greetings, Baba James.
And I want to give my special thanks to Baba Faruq Muhammad because he inspired Ross Marvin to be diligent in his pursuits and discipline as far as the UNIA Division 421 is concerned. I'm sure I owe my membership to the brother. So I just want to go ahead and give him a big up and say race first.
Thank you, Baba James, race first. Yes. And that's the thing, like, that's the thing I try to emphasize is we are in a very special place here at Division 421 and at this time, you know, 2022, you know, we have elders, we have people that have sat at the tables with individuals that laid down the legacy and that are no longer here. They're in the land of ancestors. But, you know, we always, you know, in the future, well, when we look back at things, we always look and realize later on that that we were in the good old days. We have to take advantage of the special time and the special place that we're in right now. We, you know, a lot of us really don't know because we don't travel enough and work with the other divisions. Not saying anything is wrong or, you know, criticizing any of the other divisions, but, you know, we have everything that we need in Atlanta right now, and we should be, and we are one of the exemplary divisions, but we have to be better. You know, I feel like we can do more in regards to being setting an example of how divisions should function and how the government as a whole should function. So we got to take advantage of the knowledge, the expertise that we have. Anybody else, questions, comments before we go to the clip for Counsel General Faruq Muhammad?
Yeah, Brother John.
Brother Art.
Are there any books about him, or has he written any books that we might get?
President Ross Marvin, could you help me with that? I don't think so.
I didn't hear the question.
Are there any books that Counsel General Faruq Muhammad either wrote or have been written about him?
Okay. Counsel General Faruq Muhammad always referred to the book Race First by Dr. Tony Martin. And he said that book there, Brother Art, is the best source for information on the establishment of the UNIA government. And it was written by Dr. Tony Martin, and it's basically a summation or summary of his research. And as President John said, Dr. Tony Martin said there's a lot more still yet left to uncover.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Brother Art. Any other questions on tonight's topic, the Legal Defense Committee and Counsel General Faruq Muhammad?
And by the way, I put in the chat the Kujichagulia ceremony. That was the ceremony of the birth of our government and the rebirth of our government on December 27th, 2009. Brothers and sisters can click on that link and see the pictures and the celebration and read of what happened on that day, December 27th, 2009. And Consul General Faruq Muhammad passed away on December 24th, 2010, 3 days before the second year celebration of the forming of our government. And he's truly missed because he was doing great works, not only internally, but externally of the government, getting the UNIA recognized by African governments today on the continent of Africa, working closely with Liberia and several other countries in the world to have dual citizenship for UNIA members with those African countries. And he left us much, much too soon because we would be farther ahead if he was here with us today.
So, race first, Dr. Shams, you want to make a comment?
I'm still trying to get things together. I restored my website. I had a little problem past couple of days with it, you know, but I fixed it today because I redid some research that I had originally done to put on the site. So I did that research over, and now the problem is fixed, and I have it workable.
Understand. We're going to open up for member share in just a moment. We were getting some final comments on regards to the topic for tonight.
Okay, I'm sorry I came in late.
Understand. All right, if there aren't any other comments, I'll jump over to our video and then we can open up for member share. And this is it's like a 4 or 5 part video series. We're only gonna look at the first one. You can look up the rest of them yourselves in your free time. It's on our division YouTube page, Road to Kujichagulia, parts 1 through 5, I believe. So without any further ado, let me start the video.
Greetings. I am Untitled Rogers, Assistant Counsel General of UNIA-ACL. The purpose of today's educational DVD is to provide you with information on how the Honorable Marcus Garvey established a government through the UNIA. We will talk about how Mr. Garvey accomplished that, how this government functions, and how in the 21st century this government looks. Today I have with me the Counsel General of UNIA-ACL, Brother Faruq Muhammad, and he and I will be discussing these issues for your education. First of all, Brother Faruq, thank you for joining us today with this DVD. I want to first start off by asking you, what is the modern day definition of government?
First of all, I want to say I'm happy to be here and to assist in the providing of information to our membership and interested people. For the past, I guess, 2.5 years, there's been a lot of interest that's been generated around the UNI functioning as a government. This was not something that was generally understood previously. Most people have looked at the UNI from an organizational perspective, a spiritual perspective, and cultural perspective, but never from a legal perspective. So, like I said, about 2.5 years ago, the Honorable Redmond Battle, who was the President General at that time and who appointed me as Counsel General, asked me to look into the legal legacy of the UNI. Got a chance to do that with the assistance of Professor Tony Martin. Was quite surprised, quite elated, quite happy to come to the understanding that a fully functional government had been established by Marcus Garvey. Now, that term needs to be understood with regards to how society today looks at government. The modern day definition usually has to be 5 elements, 5 basic elements. One, you have to have a Declaration of Independence that must be done publicly. You have to have a flag, you have to have a constitution, you have to have a plebiscite, which is a venue where people gather and publicly announce their support of this government. And you must get recognition from other governments. That is very critical. So those 5 elements are necessary if you're going to use the term government.
Okay, and I think it's clear to everyone that the UNIA does have a flag. The red, black, and green flag is very well known, and everybody understands that. With those other 4 standards that you tell us how Mr. Garvey met those standards?
Yeah, we'd be happy to. Most people are aware of the well-known statement that is attributed to Garvey when he describes how he had traveled all over the world looking for the black man's government. Where was the black man's kings and queens, people of high affairs? As a result of his efforts, determined that there was none, and then he declared, he actually used the word, I declare, that he would have to build one. I think where there's a fundamental failure in the people who have studied Garveyism is that they feel that ask the question, did he do it? Was just a metaphor, an empty statement. Well, the answer to the question, yes, he did in fact do it. And not only did he make a declaration at that time of independence, but there was also a second declaration that was done in August of 1920 at Madison Square Garden. Now, the flag, most people look at the red, black, and green flag of the UNIA, this flag here, as a cultural symbol. Some people look at it as just for commercial reasons, but all flags are a symbol of the government. This is what you look at when you're trying to identify a particular government. Everyone knows that when you look at the red, white, and blue, you see it anywhere in the world, you know that represents the American government. However, when people see the red, black, and green flag, they don't think of it in those terms, and we need to start looking at it from the perspective in which it was established as a symbol of our government. Most members of the UNIA know that there's a constitution. That constitution, again, was not just written to give you a figurative expression, but it was real. There's a preamble to the Constitution, which again sets the standards in which this government is to be identified.
Okay, I'm not going to go through all of them, but as I said, you can pull those up and hear the exact same story from the mouth of Counsel General Faruq Muhammad himself. We are blessed to have that documented and have access to that. So that was one thing. The other thing, last thing before we open up the member share, there's another video out there on YouTube. As the reading said, Professor Tony Martin presented his findings. I'm not going to go through this whole, I mean, obviously this video is 55 minutes long, but I encourage everyone to go look at it. Titled Tony Martin, Our History, Our Law, Our Rights. It's been up since 2001. It's only got 17 views. But this video, it's got Redmond Battle in it. Obviously, Counsel General Faruq Muhammad and Tony Martin is the main speaker. So when it comes to the understanding the establishment of the UNIA as a provisional government, and Marcus Garvey as the first provisional president of Africa, Tony Martin explains that in detail in this video. So that's all I've got. Before we move to member share, I just want to open, are there any questions, comments on anything on the topic for this evening? Okay. With that being said, let me see, stop share, and we will roll into member share. So brothers, we know we have to be good listeners. We allow our sisters to speak first. Looks like Sister Tania had dropped off. Let me call on Sister Bertha. Greetings, Sister Bertha. This is member share. This may be your first time on the call, but it's just an opportunity to share anything that you'd like, personal business, anything in the community, politics, but you got 3 minutes to share with the family.
No, my first name is Bertha Rose, and my last name is Udell. Okay. So it's not just Bertha, it's Bertha Rose. But I'm really glad that I got on tonight and I heard about the government, about us having our own government. That's very, very interesting to me. You know, there's a lot of different, not a lot, but there are several different people who are talking about how to get your citizenship, how to declare citizenship in different places. And this looks like something that I'm really interested in. So thank you all, and thank you. It was just perfect timing. That's how it is though when you're on the right vibration, huh?
Thank you, Sister Bertha Rose. And yes, we will have more discussions on tonight's topic. So just stay tuned, and we look forward to working with you and having you with us. Let me check the conference line. Are there any sisters on the conference line? I don't have a conference line up. Are there any sisters on the conference line? Maybe short on sisters this evening. Okay, no sisters on the conference line. Any other sisters on the Zoom? Sister Natiru.
Hello.
Sister Natiru, how you doing?
Hi, race first. This is Netaru. That's my Kemetic name, but this is Lady Adina.
How you doing, Lady Adina?
I'm good. How are you guys, family?
We're doing all right. You have anything that you want to share with us this evening?
Yes, Kemet Fest in Philadelphia is coming up. I believe it's going to be next month, and you can find out information for that if you're interested in coming out and sharing. If you have any talents, you might want to submit things to perform. It's going to be international. And the website for that is AUSARSET, which is AUSARAUSET PA.com.
You don't know what dates, what days in November?
Matter of fact, let me go upstairs. I'll find out. Let me ask my mate. Love.
Yeah.
What dates are the is Kemet Fest?
The 29th. I'll tell you in a minute.
Hold on.
It's either the 20th.
November, right?
No.
No, it's next month.
This month.
This month. Okay, okay.
It is the 29th and the 30th.
Okay, so the 29th and the 30th. It's this month, sorry. October, the 29th and the 30th. Okay. And that's going to be held at the Now Cafe on Germantown Avenue.
Okay. I will share this information with our Philadelphia brothers and sisters and have them support.
Other than that, it's happy to be able to tune in. Life be so busy sometimes that we just get all too caught up. But I just wanted to make sure I intentionally, greeted you all and wished you well. And it said thank you to all those who went out to honor Queen Sassy in my absence. I wasn't able to make it down. My job wouldn't give me off. But I spoke with her son, Sente, and he said and shared his gratitude for you guys showing up in honor of Queen Sassy and the things that she devoted to being, about our race and our people. And so thank you for that on behalf of her family.
Thank you, Lady Adina. Yes, so for those that don't know, Queen Sassy transitioned, I believe, 4th of July this year. She was our former Lady President. She served Lady President for Division 421 for several years. So big loss for the division, big loss for the city, and a big loss for the family as well. So we got to continue to send our thoughts and prayers to the family, as well as reach out to the family to make sure they're doing all right. But thank you, Lady Adina. All right.
Race first.
Race first. Were there any other sisters before I move to the brothers? Last call on the sisters. All right. We'll jump over to our brothers. First brother, I want to bring in our Vice President, UNIA member 390, Brother Omasius. Greetings, Brother Omasius.
Greetings, family, Race First family. I guess I just wanted to give some updates. Of course, it seems like we've been on meeting after meeting, with so many different auxiliaries. But it's exciting to see all the divisions working together. The orientation class that we're having is great, and I'm not sure if it's still open, but if any members who haven't taken an orientation with Raymond Duque, it's just always exciting. He always brings the energy. With me being the development coordinator, I've been meeting with the Minister of Labor and Industries on Tuesdays, and a lot of the focus on the last call was the African Community League. So we talked about on that call about, of course, the 5-year plan and how Marcus Garvey told us to start a fund in that 5-year plan to message to the people, which, of course, we're also having that class on Tuesdays for our officers training. So we talk about that in our economic development meetings with the Minister of Labor and Industries about getting the African Communities League up and running. As she stated in the reading earlier, that that business wing of the government was important and is important to today. So as we continue to do the work to get all of our auxiliaries built, that's some of the work that we are focused on the business development side, and from a divisional and parent body level. And that's pretty much it. Don't have any other updates at this time, but always at your service. And Race First.
Thank you, First Vice President. And I almost forgot, we also have to acknowledge our brother as commissioner. Brother Omasius also serves as commissioner of District 2. Brother Omasius, which states are you commissioner of exactly?
I'm sorry, say again.
Which states are you commissioner over? Pennsylvania, New Jersey?
Yes, District 2, that's Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. So I definitely will make sure the Philadelphia division hears about the event at the Sarset Society so they can show support. Because that is a major focus of that in conversations too when about our economic development is partnering with other organizations. So of course, locally in every city, state, we want to be doing that. So it's a great opportunity. So I'll make sure that the Philadelphia division knows about that, and we have some representation there for the UNIA as well.
Thank you, and I'll share the information that I have with you as well as Lady President, Sister K. Thank you for that update, First Vice President. I just wanted to kind of reiterate some of the things that First Vice President was touching on, and one of them was training. And before I go into the parent body training, I wanted to touch on local Division 421 training. And we have during orientation, everyone should have gotten access, or when you do go through orientation, you should get access to our member checklist. And the member checklist basically lets you know the things that we as officers expect the membership to know, and as well as the officers to know. And the way we get through this information, so if you look at the topics here, and then you look back at our schedule that we do on a yearly basis, we break the yearly schedule. Well, we do one of the topics for each for different weeks. So today we talked about Counsel General Faruq Muhammad, as well as the Legal Defense Committee. So Legal Defense Committee is here. But just reiterating, right now, the entire organization, the entire government is focused heavily on training and development. There's a parent body orientation going on. Our mass meetings that we've been doing all year are, small training sessions. And we're also doing our officers training every Tuesday. So this is sharing the right thing. So when Brother Macy's was talking about the back-to-back meetings, Saturdays we have orientation. Wednesday we just had a president's call. Friday we had a meeting to discuss African Legion on a national level. Yesterday we had our executive meeting. We had an international headquarters meeting, and we also had orientation as well again on Saturday. But there's a lot going on. This is a great time to get on board so that we can be aware and be on the same page when 2023 comes around. Because when it comes time to run, we don't have time to stop and reiterate where we're going. We need everybody to know where we're going, how to get there, so that when the alarm is sounded, when the signal is called, everybody knows what they should be doing. Okay. Oh, I think that's it. Yeah. All right, let me continue with the brothers. Next brother I want to bring in our Brother Kimwardo, who just joined us. I'll jump to you. Our second vice president for the division, Brother Kimwardo. Greetings, Brother Kimwardo.
How you doing, brother? Race first. I don't really have anything to say.
Okay. Thank you for joining us, Brother Kimwardo.
Yes, sir.
And one other thing I forgot, since we got a good, got my vice presidents on, got my colonel on, Brother Macias, let us know when to get together for the business meeting on Thursday. I went by the griot, the Omanala griot today, and we are good to start in November. So, we need to start making plans for how we want to effectively utilize that time.
That's perfect.
Okay. Thank you, Brother Kimwardo. And with that, let me jump over to our head of our African Legions here in the city of Atlanta, UNIA member 149, Baba James. Greetings, Baba James.
Good day, family. Grace first.
Grace first.
I'd like to back up what President John spoke on in regards to the Manila. I'm hopeful that our members will find ways to use the space effectively when it comes down to coming together, spending money together, sharing ideas, and continuing the rebirth of our government.
Yes, sir.
Peace and power. Grace first.
Grace first. Yes. You know, we know our situation as far as a headquarters, a home. We don't have a meeting, you know, a meeting location right now. So this is our attempt, baby steps, before we purchase our own facility, before we, you know, take out a 6-month or 12-month lease. Let's see if we can approach this on a month-to-month basis, and you know, be serious about utilizing the time that we're given and utilizing the space that we're given, and making sure we do the best that we can to make this beneficial for the government. So, all right. Thank you again, Baba James, for all the work that you've done to help us make that connection. Next, I want to bring in our treasurer, UNIA member number 2, President Ross Marvin. Greetings, President Ross Marvin.
Greetings, President John. I didn't have anything else to say. I just had a question. And I was wondering if we was going to do the ancestor program at the end of the month.
Great question. It does not look feasible as of right now.
Okay. No problem.
No, but great question. I'm glad you know, put that on the table, put that out in front of everybody. We haven't really been on top of the planning for that. We're supposed to be promoting a month in advance. Right now we're about, you know, 2.5 weeks out. I personally, I don't see it happening. You know, because right now we're in the mode of planning for November already. So that's just my thoughts. First Vice President, what you think? Second Vice President, what do you think as well?
I agree. Definitely not doing it and focusing on November, as we already kind of have shifted our energy towards.
Yeah. Brother Kimardo?
Yes, sir. I agree as well, because we are with no promotions or anything. So yeah, I agree as well.
Okay, so yeah, it's official at this point. Next year, we can look at next year. But yeah, we just got to get things in place, get everybody in position. And, you know, because no 1 or 2 individuals can do it all. And if we're depending on 1 or 2 people to do it all, some things are going to get missed. So we just got to spread it out, put our calendar together, and you know, be focused on trying to hit everything that or, you know, execute the things that we commit to. Thank you, President Ross Marvin. All right, I think that is all of our officers. So with that,
Sorry, President John.
Go ahead, Mr. President.
I did want to invite open the floor for anyone to join the business development call on Thursday, or you want to keep it executive body at this time? Should we just open up to like a business development committee? Anybody who wants to join?
That's a beautiful idea. You know, we always need help. So if there's anybody that's on the call tonight that is interested in joining our upcoming business development meeting, please make it known now. So it's anything related to business, specifically in the city of Atlanta. So yeah, I wouldn't want to do anything outside of Atlanta right now.
Thursday at 6 p.m.
Thursday
at 6 p.m. family.
Thursday at 6 p.m.
Yes, sir. I'm responding to what you're saying right now.
What's that? You want to be on the business call?
Yes, the business call, right? My email is right there on my website, you know. But I'll wait for my turn and I'll explain.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Shams. Anyone else would like to support our business development coordinator? All right. We got a hand raised. Go ahead, brother Nkosi.
I was raving about, thank you everyone, race first everyone. I was speaking in regards to the business meeting call, but I'm guessing also too, before I get seriously involved, I don't know how to, do that with what I'm involved, what I don't know I'm involved with here in Birmingham, where I'm at in Birmingham. I want to get fully committed to something that's African centered, but I don't know how to do that where I'm at right now. But
Brother Nkosi,
geophysically located.
I understand. I remember you, my brother. Shoot, you still got my information?
Yes, yes, President, I do.
Just shoot me a text really quick. Just say business development, and I will send your information to our first vice president to make sure you are included. But I understand what you.
It's like I've been trying to talk to a lot of people around me, and all right.
Brother Nkosi, feel free to give me a call after the meeting.
Grateful, thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, let's see. Next, brother Nathaniel Turner. Greetings, brother Nathaniel. Brother Nathaniel, you there?
Sorry about that, brother John. Race first, bro.
Race first. How you doing?
Race first. Thank you, bro. I don't have anything at this time. I came kind of late, so I'm just listening to what everyone else says. So thank you so much, though. I don't have anything. Thank you.
Thank you for being here with us, brother.
Race first. Yes, sir.
I think that's everybody on the Zoom. Let me jump over to conference line. Dr. Shams, are you on the conference line?
Yes, I am. Race first.
Race first, Dr. Shams. You have the floor.
Yes, sir. I had some minor difficulty with my website. You know, I mean, research can be very tedious, very thoughtful. You know, very mind-consuming type of work. What I have is raw research, raw material research on my website that anyone can sell any of the articles that I have on the website, any part of the website, for like 10 pages for $1, because I know as part of survival, we already, most of us, working way behind the 8-ball. We don't have no money, you know, and we don't really have any ideas or any ways that we can see ourselves getting any money. So that's why that's one of the reasons why I developed my website. I developed my website to help us in just about every way we need help and to back us up fully. You know, it contains scripture, history, recipes, health, Black by Black, you know, with myself and Brother Turner working together with that. It also contains religion. It contains laws, sovereign laws, ID cards, sovereign IDs, you know, where you will print out the full ID card and then make a smaller version to carry with you, you know, as a backup. But I understand from reading the human rights that you know,
In 1,000 feet, turn right on Old Fairburn Road.
Your ID card and explains how you are sovereign. And you could be sovereign just by the law itself. You know, it doesn't take much to establish a government like it always had been, because the international indigenous law says you could have a self-government, you know? So that's what I have. And I'm also affiliated with the Nation of Islam, the organization here. You know, I'm trying to see if, you know, I could get some artists working with us. But that was done freely on YouTube through the link that they had there called Share, or including the Nation of Islam. I got their information through the Share on the YouTube link that they have there, you know, for people to use for purposes other than what's right there at the YouTube itself. In case people didn't know that, you could actually develop a website or take it on a Twitter account, Facebook, wherever you want to put it, with that share link. You know, there's no directions telling you where to put anything, like, you know, whatever you want to put anywhere. The thing is that with that, the information is so extensive, you need to just review the site and see what you are interested in. If anything interests you, 10 pages for $1, and that's to help with survival equipment, you know, to get that program going, help get that program going. What else? Yeah, the website itself is called Not Helpful, USA Legislation's people.brainsites.com. If I was on the Zoom this evening, which I need another link sent to my email on that site, I would have put it in chat already. But I'm sorry I'm late, and I wasn't able to log on to the Zoom to put anything in chat. But the website is Not Helpful, USA Legislation's people.brainsites.com. And I'm using that as a fundraiser. I need money, I don't have a dime, and we could be taken out when we can have all this money to save us. We all have to go out the way we think we might go out. You know, we might be taken out. We all have to go out that way. You know, it doesn't have to be a chaotic situation. You know, money makes the difference, you know? So I ask that you take advantage of my website, but remember me when you do. The website is copyrighted. I'm being nice about it by asking for a generous donation. Anything you like to give above $1 or $1, whatever, between 25 and 100 is what I'm recommending. That means you're actually working, doing something for yourself productively, and you can help me and the organization too. The money that's generated from my site goes back into the organization. As a matter of fact, I'm up on dues right now because my ID cards for the CBPM and the UNIA both are expiring by November. I already paid for this year. You know, I know I have to pay going into next year, but depending on what I'm able to do or what we're able to do for each other, and say, you know, how we're able to work with the money situation as far as getting over the hump and the obstacles, the challenges, the oppression that we're going through, you know? So, you know, that's about all I wanted to say. I just want to make sure everybody understands what my website is. I'm not using the organization website because we are having difficulty with that right now. So my website is Not Helpful, USA Legislation's people www.bravesight.com. Peace and race first.
Race first. Thank you, Dr. Shams. And I shared your website in the Zoom link.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Race first.
Race first. Was there anyone that did not get a chance to share before I go to final comments? Okay. Couple things. Yes, someone there? Okay. Just in closing, I just want to recap again the focus of the parent body. As I said, we're doing orientation on a national level, hosted by the First Assistant President General Raymond Duguay. We've gone through 3 sessions thus far, some of the things that we've gone over in orientation. And keep in mind, some of these things we may know from topics that we've discussed here locally at Division 421. So one of them is Declarations of Rights of Negro Peoples of the World. That was the topic that we discussed, I believe, on August 14th. The Constitution of the UNIA. We have an obligation per the Constitution that we should be studying the Constitution at least once every 3 months. And then we talked about connections to Marcus Garvey. Let's see, connections, I'll show that. So a brief slide produced by the parent body shows how Marcus Garvey was connected to other great contemporaries of his time, Booker T. Washington. Amos Wilson obviously came after, but we talked about all of these men and their accomplishments and how they either worked with Garvey directly or inspired Garvey to do his work. Let's see, 7 constants. 7 constants come from Dr. Amos Wilson. Haiti, the history of Haiti and the Haitian Revolution. Race Vindication, UNIA Handbook. That's another good one. Got that in here. Thought I did. We actually talked about this as well yesterday, but basically the handbook from the parent body to make sure all the divisions are on the same page. We've talked about these things, the duties of the president, duties of the vice president, division secretaries. But we went over this information. This is information that officers definitely should know, but ordinary members should also know, what everybody's roles and responsibilities are and who to go to for what information. What else? Garvey quotes, book listing. All of our divisions should have a Marcus Garvey library that consists of the new Marcus Garvey library from Dr. Tony Martin. A couple of the books that we highlight: Philosophy and Opinions of Marcus Garvey by Amy Jocks Garvey. Race First, as President Ross Marvin mentioned, highly recommended by Counsel General Faruq Muhammad in regards to the history of the UNIA and the challenges that Marcus Garvey and our ancestors went through. Message to the People, Course of African Philosophy. So this is our officers training course. This is what we're studying every Tuesday, is what, and then we should also have the other books, but we haven't really studied the other books as a division. We've focused on the first 3 or the top 3. All right, and I think that's all I've got. In closing, for me, I always like to end off with our schedule. So right now, today is the 9th. Tomorrow is the 10th, and per the Constitution, So the Constitution states in our updated Constitution, it says the UNIA-ACL strongly opposes any participation of African people at home or abroad in the Columbus celebrations. Instead, we take a part in commemorations of our African Holocaust. UNI proposes that each Columbus Day from 1992 onward should be commemorated as African Holocaust Day. And if I Columbus Day 2022, Columbus Day, I hope y'all can see my screen. Columbus Day 2022 is October 10th. So when you look at our calendar this year, October 10th, we've got a African Holocaust Day. I don't know if we've ever officially acknowledged it as a division, but we'd like to, in our studies of the Constitution, we want to try to make sure we're bringing everything from the Constitution into what we do on an annual basis. So tomorrow, we won't do anything officially, but I'd like for each of us internally, amongst ourselves, amongst our circles, to acknowledge African Holocaust Day and not Columbus Day. This coming Tuesday, the 11th, we will continue our officers training at 8 p.m. The 12th, we will have our secretaries call. So secretaries from across different divisions will be coming together to have a discussion like we do with the president's call, but it's the second Wednesday. And then this coming Saturday, we will continue parent body orientation. We were trying to do a sisters meeting for our sisters here in the city of Atlanta. Our lady president is away on leave right now. So when she comes back, we are working to reschedule that probably for the month of November. But those are the upcoming events for the next week and, you know, for the rest of this month. But it'll be a pretty standard agenda calendar for the remainder of October. Orientation, training, and mass meetings. So with that, I will open the floor one last time for any final questions, comments before we move to close.
Raise first, the business meeting. If you can send me an email on that, and also for Zoom, so next week, you know, when we get on the call, when I get on the call, I'll be on the Zoom.
You didn't get a text for the Zoom?
Text is not the best way. The best way will be email, sam776@gmail.com.
All right. All right, I got you, my brother.
Yes, race first.
Race first. Brother Nkosi, you had a comment?
Yeah, well, that's something I just thought about it. We can talk. That's something we're talking about later.
Okay. You got my information. Just give me a call.
Well, can I recite a poem?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. How long? It's not a long poem, is it?
Our Day, Marcus Garvey.
Okay, go for it. Yes, that'll be a perfect close. Love to end with the words of Marcus Garvey.
Well, I'm gonna be right, because I don't, you know, just in case. This is Songs of the Negro Maid. I look at man in grim dismay. He tried my virtue all to steal. My heart is full of joy today. No sin is on my soul, I feel. The galling tongue of Adam's son has left me free to see the light. The master saw, o'er Satan won. In battles they did often fight. The white man forced my head to bow, my chastity to treat with scorn. But I am queen of self, and now I feel as pure as I was born. With firm respect I love my race. No one shall lead me thus astray. akin to lose the ancient trace that makes me what I am today. 1934, from the Black Man magazine. The song was a Negro made.
Beautiful,
Found
beautiful.
out that leaders, even so, leaders they supposed to serve. You know, they servants of the people. So you know,
Yes,
both
sir.
genders.
Yes, sir. We agree with that. As Garveyites, we should be servant leaders, but leading through service. Absolutely right. So with that, we will move to close. If you would like, please come off mute. Repeat after me. We will close out with our motto and slogan. One God.
One God.
One God.
One aim.
One aim.
One aim.
One destiny.
One
One
destiny.
destiny.
Africa.
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 For the Africans.
For the Africans.
For the Africans.
Those at home.
Those at home.
Those at home.
And those abroad.
And those abroad.
Those abroad.
Race First family. Y'all have a blessed week. And go in peace.
Right.